Freema on the second season of Torchwood.
You know what? She completely fitted in. It was ridiculous, actually. It's almost like she was always there kind of thing. Yeah.
She's hot.
I love Freema. Freema, her nickname, I call her Freema Adjavajamajaman. Yeah, Freema is a type of person. She fits into any group of people. She brought a whole new dynamic when she came into Torchwood, because there was, you know, not between the actresses, but between the characters, there was a little bit of like, who is this chick? And why does she know more about Jack than we do? And the whole thing with her having saved the planet, you know, by spreading the word, the Doctor, all around. So Jack has this respect for her that is such a high standard. So it was a great dynamic. Loved her. We loved her.
Hey, Freema!
Oh my God, you're there! Ladies and gentlemen,
Freema! You sound like Freema
Martha
too.
Jones.
I have a funny accent, I'm sorry.
That's alright.
Actually, I'm asking this for my friend who couldn't make it. He's back in Florida.
Okay.
But he asked for you, John, if there's anything you would change about Jack.
Nothing.
I didn't think so.
No. And every time I read a script, he grows and grows and grows, and that's amazing. She got it, the rest of you are too slow. Yes, sir.
So this is really not a grammar Nazi question. Jack isn't so much immortal as, in the sense of never dying. He dies and he's eternally resurrected. How do you see that difference as really being part of Jack's character?
I think it, sorry, I'm going to jump in, because I think it's fascinating. I think it keeps him human. I think it keeps him connected to the, you know, the people around him. It keeps him grounded. And I think, you know, when we talk about sacrifice and the pain and the cost of working at Torchwood, it keeps him connected to that. It's painful. And I think it was Chris Chibnall in season 2 who first started writing, actually, what's it feel like when he comes back to life? And we haven't really explored that in season 1, but there's a cost to it, there's a pain to it.
And that's why when I am brought back to life, that I wanted to show that there's a shock, there's a jolt. So that's why when every time Jack comes back to life, he does the because it's absolutely traumatic and painful. We wanted to project that across to the audience. And actually, we all didn't talk about that because it was interesting. That just happened, and that shows you how much we're all involved and love it, that we think in the same track. Yes?
For Gareth, we see how much Yanto develops between season 1 and season 2, and you mentioned earlier how hard you work on delivering, even if you only have a few lines. So, how do you think that your acting and delivery has influenced the development of Yanto's character?
I think maybe it's added towards the sort of dry humour the Yanto's got. I'm quite dry in my humour myself, and I find that relationship between sort of actors and writers quite fascinating. That if you put something in, sometimes by accident, as an actor, a writer will grab hold of it and enlarge it and develop that into an idea. And that's always loads of fun when you discover something you've done by accident, or something you saw in the character that maybe wasn't in the writing is sometimes either discarded by the writer or actually grabbed onto and developed. So, yeah, I think the actor does have a little bit of what's the word? Gareth in them.
But we are going to find out much more about Yanto in season 3. Yes, they've only read episode 1.
Yeah. We have time for one last question.
Don't feel bad, honey. You're asking the question. Always feel good about that.
This is for everyone, being a fellow drama geek and loving acting. I'd like to know how you got started and all that stuff.
One last question.
Okay, when did I start? I actually started with the singing side first. When I was like 12, I started sort of classical singing lessons. And then by the age of 14 or 15, I kind of knew. I definitely knew that I wanted to go into the theatre, do stage. And then when I was 17, Miss Saigon was my first.
She says she was 17.
You want to play that game?
What? Don't play that game.
School, played a robot, did the National Youth Theatre, played Mac the Knife, got an agent, got on telly, got on Torchwood. Brilliant.
Buy my book.
Well, terrific. Well, I think that brings to an end the greatest panel of the day.